Good morning. Let's see the next chapter, that is labor cost control. What do you mean by labor cost? Labor cost means all kinds of payments or consideration, remuneration payable or paid to the workers for the services rendered by them. So labor cost is the aggregate of all kinds of considerations paid, payable, and provisions made for future payments for the services rendered by the employee of an enterprise. So if any employee worked in the enterprise, for the services rendered by the employee, company or the enterprise will pay some remuneration. It may be paid after the services rendered or it may be paid in the future. So whether the remuneration is paid, payable, or if it is paid in the future also, that will be included in the labor cost. This labor includes temporary workers, part-time workers, and also the contract employees. The considerations include wages, salaries, contractual payments, and the benefits as applicable or any payment made on behalf of employee. It means any remuneration or consideration paid to the employee who have rendered services for the enterprise. The consideration, it may be in the form of wages, salaries, or it may be some contractual payments, and the workers or the employees here, it includes both the temporary workers, part-time workers, and also the contract employees. Types of labor cost. We are having two types of labor cost. One is direct labor and indirect labor. So what do you mean by direct labor? Direct labor means any remuneration or the payment made to the employees who are working in the production process. So it is the cost directly engaged in the production work and can be conveniently identified or attributed wholly to a particular job, process, or cost unit. So here the payment made to the employees and the employees who are rendering the services in the production department and they are working under the production process. And you can easily identify the cost attributed to a particular job or a process or the unit. For example, wages of a machine operator. Machine operator is working in the production process and we can easily identify what is the amount of wages paid to the machine operator. Then indirect labor. Indirect labor means labor or the employees who are not engaged directly in the production process activities. They are supporting for the production process. So it refers to the wages paid to those workers who are not directly engaged in the conversion of raw materials into finished products. It means any workers who are not directly engaged in the production activities. Here the production activities is nothing but converting of raw materials into finished product, and such cost cannot be conveniently identified with a particular job, product, or the cost unit. For example, supervisor, watchmen, inspectors, we can't easily tell what is the supervision cost for each employee. We can tell for whole department the supervision cost, but for individual process, for individual job, we can't easily identify the cost involved in the indirect labor. The next concept is labor turnover. So what do you mean by labor turnover? Labor turnover means the rate of changes in the composition of labor force in an organization. For example, this month there are 100 employees working in my enterprise. For the next month, I have joined new employees, maybe 5 workers. So then the labor turnover will be not 100, it will be 105. For the next month, I have removed the existing employees of 10. So then the labor turnover will be not 105, it will be 95. It means the movement of employees in and out from the organization, the rate of changes in the labor force of an organization, it will be called as labor turnover. The number of employees who join and the number of employees who replaced by the new employees. Labor turnover. What is the reason for labor turnover? Labor turnover occurs due to work environment, employees' remuneration, relationship between employer and employee, other fringe benefits, and other privileges offered by an organization. So, why the composition of labor force will be changes means it may be due to some work environment. If I'm not happy with the work environment, I will move on to the other organization. Or if I'm very happy with the organization I'm working, I will stay in this organization only. Then employees remuneration. If the remuneration paid by the organization is not satisfied to me, then I will change to the other company. And relationship between employee and employer. If there is no cordial relationship between the employer and employee, then the employee may quit the job. And other fringe benefits. If the company is providing good privileges and other fringe benefits, employee will stay here only. Or if they have not given proper fringe benefits, the employees will move on to the other organization. So labor turnover will be occur due to the changes in the working environment, employees remuneration. If they have not satisfied the remuneration paid by the company, relationship between the employee and employer, the other privileges and fringe benefits offered by the organization. We are having some methods of labor turnover. We are having three methods. One is separation method, the second one is replacement method, and the third one is flux method. So what do you mean by separation method? Under separation method, we will consider or we will take into account only those workers who have left the organization during the particular period. For example, if I am considering 1 month, in within 1 month, how many workers have quit the job? They have left the job in our organization. So here we will calculate labor turnover rate. The labor turnover rate is equals to the number of workers who left during the particular duration divided by average number of workers during the period. Average number of workers during the period means number of workers in the beginning plus number of workers at the end divided by 2. For example, if we consider 6 months as a duration, at the beginning we are having 100 workers, at the end we are having only 80 workers. It means 20 workers left the job. So number of workers left the job will be 20. Average number of workers will be, in the beginning number of workers will be 100, at the end only 80 workers. So 100 plus 80 divided by 2, that is 90 workers. So through the usage of this formula, we will calculate the labor turnover rate under separation method. Under separation method, you will consider only those workers who left the job. The next is replacement method. Under replacement method, we will consider only those workers who joined or those workers who replaced the left employees. This method takes into account only those new workers who have joined in place of those who have left. Those who have left in place, we will join the new workers. That new workers we will consider here. Labor turnover rate is equals to number of workers replaced during a period divided by average number of workers during the period. I told average number of workers means number of workers at the beginning and number of workers at the end divided by 2. So here you will consider only those new workers who replace the left workers. The third method is flux method. Under this, it includes a combination of separation method and replacement method. So this shows the total change in the composition of labor force due to separation and replacement of workers. The formula for calculation of labor turnover rate under flux method is number of workers left, that is under separation method, and number of workers replaced, it means new workers joined in the place of left workers, divided by average number of workers during the period. So we are having three types of method. One is separation method. There we will consider only those workers who left the job or who quit the organization. Under replacement method, new workers joined in place of quit workers. Flux method, combination of both the separation method and replacement method. So the next concept is, under this only you will have 6 marks questions. What are the methods of labor remuneration? It means how you will pay remuneration to the employees. Which are the methods you are following for payment of remuneration? We are following 3 methods. One is time rate system, piece rate system, and incentive plans. Time rate system means according to the time or number of hours worked by the employees, you will pay the remuneration to the workers. Number of hours worked will be considered as a basis for the payment of salary or wages to the workers. So under time rate system, workers are paid according to the time for which they work, irrespective of the output achieved by them during the period. So under time rate system, we will consider only the number of hours or the time the worker worked, not the output achieved. It means, for example, worker X is working for 8 hours, but he is producing in 8 hours 100 units. So we will not consider how many units he has produced. We will consider, or we will take into account only the number of hours he has worked. Payment may be made on the basis of hourly basis, daily basis, or monthly basis. So here on the time rate system, the workers are paid on a hourly basis or daily basis or monthly basis. So how you will calculate the remuneration or payment under time rate system? That is number of hours worked into rate per hour. So under time rate system, the time or the number of hours worked by employees will be considered, not the output produced. The next method is piece rate system. Under piece rate system means it is also known as straight piece rate system. Sometimes they will ask, not as a piece rate system, calculate straight piece rate system. It's nothing but piece rate system. Wages under this system are paid according to the quantity of work done, irrespective of number of hours worked by the worker during a period. Here, we will not consider the number of hours worked or the time the worker is worked. We will consider only the units produced or the output produced. So a rate per unit is fixed and wages are paid on the basis of production. So how many units each worker produced, on the basis of production, worker is paid. Piece rate system. Piece rate system is equals to number of units produced into rate per unit. So how you, if they have not given rate per unit in the problem, you have to calculate using this formula. Rate per hour divided by standard output per hour. So under time rate system, number of hours worked or time will be taken into consideration, not the output produced. Under piece rate system, the output produced or the quantity of units produced will be considered, not the time. So let's see the some problems regarding time rate system and piece rate system. I told in this the main questions will be asked in the, whether they will ask in the time rate and piece rate system calculation or incentive plans calculation. And from this chapter you have 6 marks questions. Calculate the earnings of a worker per a day of 8 hours from the following information under time rate system and piece rate system. So you have to calculate the earnings, that is payment made to the workers under time rate system and piece rate system. Rate per hour is 5. Number of units produced in a day of 8 hours is 100. 100 is the number of units produced and the time required to produce 100 units will be 8 hours. Rate per unit is 0.5. So you have to calculate the earnings under time rate system and piece rate system. Time rate system. Time rate system earnings is equals to, here the formula for time rate system is number of hours worked into rate per hour. So how many hours the worker is working? He is working 8 hours. 8 hours. What is the rate per hour? 5 is the rate per hour. Don't confuse with the rate per unit and rate per hour. Rate per hour will be considered under the time rate system. Rate per unit will be considered under the piece rate system. So number of hours worked is 8 hours. Rate per hour is 5. So 8 into 5 you will get 40 rupees. This is the payment made to the worker. The next is under piece rate system. Piece rate system, the formula is number of units produced into rate per unit. So how many units within 8 hours we are producing? We are producing 100 units. The rate per unit is, they have mentioned 0.5. So 100 into 0.5 you will get 50 rupees. The next problem is calculate the earnings of a worker under time rate system and piece rate system. Number of working hours in a week is 40 hours. The rate per hour is 4. It means the worker is working 40 hours in a week. The each rate per hour is 4 rupees. Number of units produced. Units produced will be 300. Standard production per hour is 10 units. It means they have not mentioned rate per unit. They have mentioned rate per hour and standard production per hour. So first you have to calculate the earnings under time rate system. What is the formula for time rate system? Time rate system is equals to number of hours worked into rate per hour. Number of hours worked is 40 hours. The rate per hour is 4. So 40 into 4 you will get 160. And for piece rate system, the formula is number of units produced into rate per unit. So number of units produced they have mentioned as 300, but they have not mentioned directly the rate per unit. I told if they have not mentioned the rate per unit, you have to calculate the rate per unit using this formula. Rate per hour divided by standard output per hour. Here they have mentioned rate per hour is 4, standard production per hour is 10 units. So 4 divided by 10, if you have calculated, you will get rate per unit as 0.4. So number of units produced is 300 into 0.4, you will get 120. Thank you.